the heck of it, I went online and Googled Memorial Day. God. Everything that's been said about Memorial Day has been said, at least once, and many times over in most cases. So I just kind of got quiet and just let it run and had kind of those free expression kinds of things and came up with some, not revelation necessarily, but some ideas that I thought I would just leave with you this morning and let you take them and do with them what you will, if anything for that matter. And here is some thoughts that came out of a variety of people on war. Let us begin there. And this has no rhyme or reason, so don't look for rhyme or reason, please. This is just ideas. Major General Smedley Butler says, war is a racket. It always has been. It is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, and surely the most vicious war. James Hillman, a consummate psychologist, one of the brightest men in the universe, reminds us there have been 5,600 years of written history, and 14,600 wars have been recorded within that time. 14,600. Wow. Philip Caputo writes, I guess every generation is doomed to fight its war, suffer the loss of the same old illusions, and learn the same old lessons on its own. You'd wonder, you'd think maybe someday we'd start remembering, for sure. George W. Bush, prior to the invasion of Iraq, oh no, we're not going to have any casualties. You never know, do you? George Orwell, every war when it comes, or before it comes, is represented not as a war, but as an act of self-defense against a homicidal maniac. Ring any bells? Sure did for me. One of my favorite authors, Kurt Vonnegut, here's what I think the truth is. We are all addicts of fossil fuels in a state of denial. And like so many addicts about to face cold turkey, our leaders are now committing violent crimes to get what little is left of what we're hooked on. Possibilities there. Possibilities exist. They see it. Bertrand Russell, famous philosopher. This really touched me deep. Patriots always talk of dying for their country and never of killing for their country. Whoa. Boy, that takes it deep. Thou shalt not. Thou shalt not. John Lennon. If everyone demanded peace instead of another television set, then there'd be peace. Elegantly simple and so true. And my favorite, Abbie Hoffman. How many remember Abbie Hoffman? Yeah, he was a righteous man. He said, I believe in compulsory cannibalism. If people were forced to eat what they killed, there'd be no more war. Yay, Abby. So, what to do about all of it? What to do about all of it? Memorial Day for me, this time through, what comes up for me is an image of a band of warriors, full dress immaculate, colors unfurled, marching solemn half-step to the assembly point at Arlington National Cemetery, where, with impeccable precision, they shatter the stillness with a 21-gun salute, an introduction to the reverent melancholy of taps and all the heartache inherent in its soulful acknowledgement of the cause that convenes us here this Sunday morning. The New World Dictionary is straight to the point, and in retrospect, far more spiritually informed. It defines Memorial Day as a legal holiday in the life in the United States in memory of the dead servicemen of all wars. A study in succinctness, and as it turns out, inspired compassion as well. Perhaps we will have to forgive them for the non-inclusive gender nature of the noun servicemen, used to identify those men and women who sacrificed their lives on the auction block to the cause that somehow justified the peril of investing in its premise rather than heading for Canada. At the same time, let's not miss a vital nuance articulated in the New World definition of Memorial Day that has new wine written all over it. It seems clear enough to me that if the meaning and promise of Memorial Day is most profoundly acknowledged by remembering the dead of all wars, the injunction calls us out right now to bring a new spirit of forgiveness and compassion to the intention of our commemoration here this morning. If this Memorial Day observance is to move us in the direction of the alleviation of all human suffering, it must acknowledge the baggage of considering only our dead of our wars. It must include opening our hearts to all the dead of all the wars, Amen. Including Cain and Abel, and the first time alley-oop whacked a neighboring Neanderthal with the jawbone of a dinosaur. Take it as far out as that. The immensity of that consideration can be sobering. Opening our hearts wide enough to include all the victims of all the conflicts our spiritual immaturity has plagued us with over the centuries requires that our humanity be perfectly balanced with a deep sense of our divinity that remembers God is the God of the living and not of the dead. Without that balance, mindfulness of human suffering on that scale would be unbearable. Taking on the revelation demands a spiritually informed relationship with materiality as a way of life, a renunciation of dominance and killing as management strategies, moving beyond denial and avoidance as an operating system, and embracing a to let no act or utterance become manifest prior to passing through the gate of the golden rule. Tie them all together with a steady remembering of the divinity eternally present in all creation, and a great leap forward will have been taken in humanity's quest to finally one day close the book on settling differences with a greater killing, a deeper ignorance. Yeah. We need an inner healing in the collective consciousness, the oversoul of America. We cannot do it alone, but together. As we work in love, understanding, and faith and strength, we can. We will not have peace in our world until we have peace and justice and equality in our cities, in our streets, in our homes, and in all of our relationships. And that will come as we heal together. On April 16, 1953, President Dwight D. Eisenhower said this: "Every gun that is made, every warship that is launched, every rocket that is fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. This is not a way of life at all, in any true sense. Under the cloud of threatening war, it is humanity hanging from a cross of iron. And how do we free ourselves from the cross of iron? Indeed, what is the ground of all of our freedom? And I think the ground of it is to continue what we do here. We gather together in this community of faith to explore the truth that will set us free. And certainly, one of the freedoms will be freedom from having to celebrate many more Memorial Days brought to us through the auspices of war with each other. What do you think, huh? I invite you all to consider the grace of that. And I thank you for your kind ears this morning.